right, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday our friend Dinesh D'Souza stirred quite a controversy, inadvertently or not, he did, because he tweeted out the following tweet about our president, Barack Obama. Let's put that tweet up. If we do have it, and I think we do. There it is. And he says of Barack Obama, he says, "You can't take the boy out of the ghetto. Watch this vulgar man show his stuff while America cowers in embarrassment." And that's, of course, a picture of that stupid video that the president made reportedly on the day that we found out that our American hostage was killed at the hands of ISIS. Subsequently, after getting some response to that tweet, Dinesh D'Souza put up this tweet to make clear that he didn't mean any offense. He says, "I know Obama wasn't actually raised in a ghetto. I'm using the term metaphorically to suggest presidential conduct." Well, David Swerdlick is none too happy. He, of course, contributing editor to theroot.com. And we are lucky enough to have Dinesh and David with us for a debate. We don't have enough of those. Hello, gentlemen. And let me start with you, Dinesh. Explain what you meant and where you are now. Should you have done it? Should you not have done it? Go ahead, sir.
No, I have no regret about it. I think in context we can understand what I was trying to say. There's a very old saying in Western civilization. It goes back to the Industrial Revolution. People would move from the village to the city, and you'd say you can take a boy out of the village, but you can't take a village out of the boy. In the 20th century, when blacks moved from the inner city to the suburbs and to the middle class, people would say you can take a boy out of the ghetto, you can't take a ghetto out of a boy. These are well-known sayings in our culture. They're completely different from the tradition in Southern slavery where somebody would take an elderly man and refer to him as, quote, a boy. So I think what was going on here is that leftists, who actually know better, they understand the context of these phrases, thought that they could get a gotcha on me. They thought that because the word boy appeared in my proverb, that they could somehow pretend like I was calling Obama a boy. So this is the height of idiocy. It's the kind of invective that I've gotten very used to. The difference, of course, is that while a lot of guys in the GOP get all trembly when this sort of thing happens and back down, I don't. So I have no apologies. I'm glad I said it. I think the general point I made is completely valid.
Do you accept that, and what's your take on it?
No, Steve, I don't accept that. Look, on its face, the tweet makes two references that could clearly be seen as trying to underscore President Obama's race. As Dinesh said, it is well known by anyone who has studied race in America, and Dinesh has, that referring to a grown black man as boy is certainly seen as a put down. In terms of his reference to President Obama coming from the ghetto, it's nice for him to dress this up as some sort of parable or proverb, but the reality is that the intentional use of the word ghetto is designed to underscore President Obama being a black president. And even if I were to sort of want to give Dinesh the benefit of the doubt, I'd have to first put it in the context of his tweet or comment in 2013 when he referred to President Obama as a grown-up Trayvon. And I'd also have to put it in the context of Dinesh referring to the president in 2010 as an anti-colonialist and tying the president's views to his Kenyan ancestry.
All right, Dinesh, Dinesh, go ahead.
Well, look, I think first of all, President Obama is a black president, and I certainly don't think that referring or underscoring, as you put it, to his race is inherently problematic. The real question is whether or not I'm making a valid underlying point. Now, the point I'm trying to make, the meaning of the proverb that I used is simply this. You can take a guy who has a certain character or style, a narcissistic style, a style in which he poses, tries to put himself off as something that he's not. You can put him in the White House or the Oval Office, and he won't change his general character. That's the meaning of the proverb. And so here you have Obama. He's supposedly trying to recruit for Obamacare, but you can see that there's something self-indulgent, something narcissistic. And you mentioned, my past and things I've written before. Let's look at Obama's past. Obama himself talks about striking what he calls the bad Negro. He uses the N-word, pose, when he was younger. He took a series of photographs in which he's smoking cigarettes and striking very much of the sort of cool pose that is associated, if you will, with a certain kind of the blaxploitation movies of the 1970s, for example. Obama does this himself. And so I suppose this was in the back of my mind when I was looking at the self-indulgent way in which Obama was supposedly trying to promote recruitment for healthcare.
If Dinesh,
Go ahead, David Swerdlick.
if Dinesh feels that those photos that
Well, why don't you guys, David, you guys talk to each other. Go ahead.
Dinesh, if you feel that those photos of President Obama, which are well known, which of him wearing the hat and smoking a cigarette in college and striking, as you say, the cool pose, are somehow indicative of the way he has comported himself as president 35 years later, then you're entitled to that opinion. I think to go to, as you pointed out, the underlying meaning, if such as it is, of what you were supposedly trying to say, look, the president, as you said, was trying to get a message out about Obamacare. You can disagree with Obamacare vehemently, and I take no issue with that. But it clearly was an effective way, reaching out on BuzzFeed in a video that got 50 million hits, to reach out to a younger audience to get his message out.
David, do you believe that the tweet was racist?
I don't have to characterize it as racist or one way or the other. You want to talk about a gotcha game that's played by the right. My view, as I said at the top, was that the only explanation for Dinesh saying that he was a boy and he couldn't be taken out of the ghetto, I'm paraphrasing the tweet, is to underscore the president's race. He's right. There's nothing per se wrong.
All right, Dinesh, do you believe David's copping out right now by refusing to say whether he thought by using the word racist or not racist?
Well, two things. First of all, if I had said of President Bush, you can take the boy out of Texas, but you can't take Texas out of the boy. This would be completely legitimate. There would be no effort to suggest I was making any kind of a slur. Second of all, if you look at those old Obama photos that you talked about and you put them alongside these new photos, and I agree the new photos are completely opposed. This is not the normal Obama. Obama was in a way play acting, if you will, for the mirror. But I think that both of the photos taken together reflect a certain narcissistical strain in Obama. This wasn't, if you will, Bill Clinton playing the
saxophone. All right, David, 10 seconds, go. Final word.
Dinesh's explanation for the tweet is ludicrous. If he thinks he's a narcissist, refer to him as a narcissist and not as a boy who you can't take out of the ghetto. It's that simple.
All right, gentlemen, I really appreciate both of you coming on and doing this. Thank you, Dinesh D'Souza, David Swerdlick. We're coming back, folks, with the panel. Don't go away.